where you are ready to listen with awareness. In that restful awareness, I'd like you to join the palms together in Amajali Mudra in front of your heart center, Anahata Chakra. Let us invoke Swamiji, our Guru, followed by 3 times Mahavakya by chanting the Sadguru Vandanam. So take a deep breath. Nityanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamurtim Vandvatitam Gaganashatrisham Tattvamasyarilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Savadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurantam Namami. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let us bow down to Bhagavan Swamiji, our beloved Guru, and also to Bhagavan Sri Krishna, to bless us to receive the final chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Insights for the Seekers. So let us enter into the next slide. A very warm welcome to all of you for joining maybe for the first time. So let me just run through what we are going to cover today. Today, as it is the final chapter, Moksha, Sannyasa Yoga, we will do a recap of last chapter 17 for the Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga, which we covered 2 weeks ago. Then we will touch on this chapter itself. And through this whole series, this whole session today, we're going to cover the important message, like there is no I, there's no mind. Surrender your senses, delusion of senses. Then Krishna gives instructions for enlightenment. And then he gave also 2 very important understanding, which you need to catch. And he gave the promise, I will liberate. So then we wrap up with the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So this is what we're going to cover today. So sit with them in a relaxed way and buckle your seatbelt and let's dive into the session. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Sri Vedavyasa to start the session. Next slide.
Nityanandam, everyone.
Yeah, mine may be a bit louder. It's a bit soft now.
Nityanandam, everyone. So, can you hear me all? Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, okay. So all of you, I suggest you switch on your cameras because healing will go on. This is the last chapter. Very powerful also. So whatever home we've been doing since last 18 weeks, it's time for the result. So let us now invoke Bhagavan Sri Krishna with the mantra. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I salute unto you, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Guru, Master of the world, Son of Vasudeva, supreme bliss of Devaki, destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura. Now, let us invoke the sacred knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with a mantra. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshini Bhagavatim Ashtadasadhyayini Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. Om, I meditate upon you, Bhagavad Gita, the affectionate mother, divine mother, showering the nectar of Advaita, non-duality and destroying rebirth, incorporated into the midst of Mahabharata of 18 chapters by sage Vyasa, the author of the Puranas, and imparted to Arjuna by Bhagavan Narayana himself. Today, I'll give a short recap of the previous chapter, which is a very important chapter, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. As I mentioned last week itself, previous session itself, so many things Bhagavan Sri Krishna shared, but a whole chapter he spoke about only one word, Shraddha, authenticity. So just imagine how important it is. So we'll have a recap about that. Please understand. In this chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave the methodology to internalize and live the truths in Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Sri Krishna speaks about the threefold authenticity Shraddha. Please listen. Here, Krishna emphasizes how only living Shraddha can transform your whole life. Not having a gap between your spiritual understanding and your day-to-day life is what is called living. Krishna emphasizes how only Shraddha can transform your whole life. Krishna declares, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. One established in authenticity experiences true wisdom, enlightenment. Shraddha will become reality in you. Sri Krishna explains that the way we worship depends on our natural gunas, attributes that we are born with. Sattva, goodness, rajas, aggression, or tamas, ignorance. He asks everyone not to punish your body. Do not torture your soul as he resides in us. He means cosmic Krishna, Paramashiva. The body is the temple of God. Sri Krishna talks about how to give, how to sacrifice, and how to enrich others. Krishna defines austerity of deeds, words, and thoughts, tapas and penance. Penance performed with the nature of total surrender, with no expectation of any results. It is in sattva and of spiritual value. That's what he says. The penance that is to be done by words, because he spoke about three, right? Here, the penance that is to be done by words is speaking the truth and speaking pleasing words, creating a healing effect through our words. We should not utter words that hurt others. Next, Sri Krishna talks about austerity in action, shariram tapah. These mean truth in thoughts, words, and deeds, embodying non-violence, non-covetousness, simplicity, and living in reality. Focusing on Supreme as the ultimate in any penance. Krishna also speaks on the concept of dana, enriching charity. There are three kinds of dana. Annadana means sharing to enrich with food, clothes, and is related to someone's physical needs. Vidyadana, this means sharing to enrich with education for mental growth. Jnanadana is the ultimate sharing of enriching with knowledge. In conclusion, Krishna provides the technique to achieve the space of completion that expresses as the space of enriching. Om Tat Sat. These three words imply, I offer all to the truth. I surrender everything to the divine. Let that be the truth. Any person enriching or working with the space of addressing Om Tat Sat will be with existence, the divine consciousness. So, the Guru is the only being who can enrich you with the space of completion to make your life successful and fulfilled and transmit his experience to you. So, Om Tat Sat. Now, let us pass on into the today's chapter, Adhyaya, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Now, all the 17 chapters' essence will be here. Finally, Sri Krishna concludes Bhagavad Gita, the song of Krishna, with one subject. In the end, finally, he is concluding with just one subject. What is that? Drop everything and surrender. Do not worry. There is nothing to surrender except the I and mine. Sri Krishna reveals the final secret to experience and become him. Drop everything you know as dharma and surrender onto me. I promise you liberation, moksha. Please understand, when Sri Krishna tells us to drop everything and surrender, he asks us to open our eyes and see the foolishness of the drama we play with our possessions and expectations. There is no I, there is no mine. Can whatever you think of as I, either your body or mind, function without air? Can you say that the air belongs to you? This basic energy, prana, which goes in and comes out, does not belong to you. If prana stops happening, what you think of as you disappears. I and mine, the reason for all problems. These two instincts of holding on to I and mine are the reason for physical and mental problems. The instinct to survive and the instinct to possess are the root cause of our problems. This is the reason we are unable to surrender. If we do not internalize the outer incidents and if we treat them with the indifference they deserve, we experience what we call as surrender. What Bhagavan calls as surrender. Now, Arjuna's question. Arjuna says, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyaga, and of the monastic life of sannyasa. O Hrishikesha, Krishna, please tell me the truth. Understand? Arjuna is confused about the actor, about the act and the actor. Please understand, what is important is the act. Anyone can be the actor. Sri Krishna gives his ultimate opinion. He says that his opinion on renunciation is living without attachment. Sangam tyaktva phalanicha. Krishna says that nitya karma or obligatory responsibilities must be followed with discipline and consistency. Doing what needs to be done because that is our responsibility without attachment to the action and without desire is important. The consciousness of I and mine in terms of the performance of the activity should be absent. The consciousness of feeling responsible in your being should be present. Renunciation is in the true spirit of completion. Sattva or goodness only when a person renounces the expectation of result. Please understand it. What is renunciation? Not struggling with goal and purpose. Etanya pitu karmani sangam tyaktva phalani cha. Please understand, whether it is spiritual or worldly activity, as long as you struggle with a purpose and a goal, you can never relax. The person who surrenders to the flow of life experiences the inner space and outer space at the same time. As long as you struggle with completion, you don't enrich. So as long as you struggle with enriching, you are not complete. When you relax in both, you fall into your inner consciousness, your being, or your inner space. So please understand, there are 3 levels of surrender. The first is intellectual surrender. This means you accept that the master's intellect is sharper and higher than your intellect. This is called intellectual surrender. Next is emotional surrender. This is trusting that the master's guidance on the emotional plane is more intelligent than your emotions. The third is surrendering the senses. Your cognition or the root of your cognition itself. You can experience Sri Krishna's consciousness not just by surrendering the intellect and emotions, but also by surrendering the root of the intellect and emotions, that is the senses. The senses supply the data. When you surrender them, the source of the data is surrendered. When you surrender your senses, the root cognition of yourself, you lose your identification with the body and mind. The moment you trust me more than your senses, you experience that you are God. You then understand the meaning of Tattvamasi. Literally, you are that, meaning you are divine. says Bhagavan Krishna. A small story how the instinct of survival comes, how we should surrender from that. One day, Sri Mahavishnu was resting on Adisesha, the snake bed. His bed, that is actually a big serpent. Lakshmi, his consort, was pressing his feet. This is known as Pada Seva, service to the feet. Suddenly, Sri Mahavishnu called for his Vahana, vehicle, Garuda. Then Bhagavan stood up, ran a few steps, stopped, and then walked back. Mahalakshmi was puzzled and asked, what had happened? Sri Mahavishnu explained that he had seen a man throwing stones at one of his devotees who was meditating. So Bhagavan jumped up, intending to protect him. But however, he saw that the devotee opened his eyes, picked up a stone to defend himself. So when Mahavishnu saw that the man could protect himself, he decided not to go. Thus, when you protect yourself and your property, Bhagavan withdraws. To protect does not mean that you should not lock your house. It means that you should drop the instinct of survival. The instinct of survival constantly tortures you. But the instinct to survive kills you every moment. So, surrender itself is enlightenment. At that moment, you will experience the real truth. That is the moral of that story. Anyhow, now Bhagavan Sri Krishna is speaking about Purushartha. Krishna goes much deeper than these three levels of surrender. He gives Arjuna a glimpse of the greatest surrender. Here, Krishna approach defining the Purushartha Dharma is the natural law of the cosmos. Please remove this slide. Krishna, he speaks about Purushartha Dharma is the natural law of the cosmos. Artha is the material things that we pick up on to sustain ourselves. Understand? Dharma means natural law of the cosmos. Artha means material things. Moksha or liberation is the ultimate meaning. So these four Purushartha, these are the fourfold meanings of life. Now Sri Krishna talks about how we respond as a result of root patterns based on